The human bones found in a fire pit in Roaming Shores are those of 18-year-old Alesha Bell, the Warren, Ohio woman last seen July 23rd. Ashtabula County Sheriff William Johnson, along with Lieutenant Terry A. Moisio, Detective Commander, Coroner Pamela Lancaster, and County Prosecutor Nick Iarocci held a press conference Thursday morning, September 3rd, to make the announcement and to state the investigation has a long way to go. Alesha's family was informed of the results of DNA testing Wednesday night. Alesha's mother, Tiffany Knepper, told a Youngstown television station she never expected anything like this to happen to her daughter. The family last week held a news conference as it hung on hope that she was still alive. The bones were found at the Roaming Shores home of 40-year-old James Brooks on August 20th, whom authorities said makes his living as a drug dealer. Deputies came upon the bones during a raid on his home. Police have said in court testimony that Brooks made contact with Bell the same day she was last seen. Brooks has been charged on various drug counts and abuse of a corpse.
Let me start out by saying this. The purpose of this press conference is to be able to give you information on evidence that we retrieved regarding a search warrant at 1773 US 6 in Roaming Shores. Yesterday, early morning and early afternoon, we received information from not only our coroner, but the Cuyahoga County Regional Forensic Science Laboratory that identified the bone fragments at the scene to be that of Alesha Bell, the missing person in Warren. I will tell you that the investigation is still continuing. A lot of evidence has been entered and is continuing to be tested for DNA and all the forensic information that we could possibly get. We are continuing the investigation on a daily basis, working hand in hand with Warren PD. And I will tell you that I would appreciate at this particular time, since we got the identity of Alesha Bell being a victim, that you give privacy to the family and allow the Sheriff's Department and Warren PD to continue to investigate this, which is going to be a lengthy investigation. According to the forensic testing, it is 99.999% assured that it is her. Any questions?
Sheriff?
Go ahead. Yes.
There was some suggestion that there could possibly be multiple DNA samples there.
And again, I want to caution everybody, we did a thorough investigation at the scene. We gathered a lot of evidence. A lot of evidence is being processed as we speak. It'll be a ways up the road until we get any identification, if there is any additional. What I can tell you is we were concerned about Alesha Bell at that particular time, and as soon as they found out that information, they gave us that information. But I will tell you that there's a lot of evidence that's going to be processed over the next several weeks before we get any of that information.
Did they figure it out by matching the DNA to the mother?
We did take a swab of the mother, I will tell you that, and I'm not a forensic person, but I will tell you that we did take swabs, and that information was processed through the to Cuyahoga County Coroner's Office.
Is the suspect in this case, is he going to face any additional charges right now?
That certainly is going to be at a later date. The investigation is continuing. If it leads to that, I'm sure that the prosecutor will process that, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Understand there's a lot of work we're still going to be doing, and it's being done as we speak, and it's going to continue. So we have to understand that this is a process that everybody wants answers. We want the answers too, but we're going to do it thoroughly and get it done as soon as we can.
And so, you know, there's our other families that have missing missing.
Well, there's-
And they're concerned. Do you think there's a possibility that could be?
Again, we're going to take a look at everything, and certainly we do know that there are a lot of people in the database, and that's going to be up to a lot of information that we're going to get back from the evidence that we entered and the scientific part of it. But we'll continue to interview and do further investigation on this thing.
Sheriff, these bones were scattered, so at this point you don't know if you have more than one person. Have you taken swabs from anybody else?
We have taken swabs from different people, but I will tell you that we recovered every possible piece of evidence that we could at the scene that particular day, and that was August 20th.
Sheriff, what is unusual about this case?
It's a homicide, and a lot of times we have to do a lot of investigation. We have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that whoever's involved is taken to justice, and so it's really not unusual. It's just it's another homicide case that we're going to work real hard on and get all the facts.
Is there a connection between Alesha Bell and James Brooks at this point?
That will be part of the investigation. I'm sure when this comes to conclusion, we will be able to answer all them questions in regards to that.
I know in court he did say that he did have contact with her the day she went missing. Is that the day that she potentially might have passed away as well?
Again, we certainly look at all that, but that will be a coroner's conclusion in regards to that. But like I said, when we get completed with this investigation, all these answers hopefully will be known, and you'll be able to take that and express that to the general public.
And Sheriff, I know this has to be grueling for you and the family. I know this is not the answer you wanted to give them.
No, certainly it's our job to investigate any kind of crime, and we certainly want to always come with a really good conclusion. And I might add that it's very difficult for us sometimes to do our job all the time, every second of the day when we get constant calls. We're not hiding anything. It's part of an investigation. And you know, even with the family, it's important to understand that the family needs to go through closure, but they also you need to understand that they have privacy as well, and we should allow them that privacy.
There are two other missing females from Warren, and the mother of one says that her daughter also knew James Brooks. Is that part of the investigation?
We will look at everything possible in regards to this particular case. I'm not going to say no, but I certainly can't say yes as well. We'll investigate every single complaint that we got, any possible suspects. We will certainly do our job thoroughly.
Is human trafficking a part of your investigation?
We're looking into everything. We won't take anything lightly. If it leads to that, certainly we'll look into that as well.
Do we know how Alesha Bell died?
That will be totally up to the coroner's report. All I can tell you is we're here to identify that the remains that were taken from the scene were that of Alesha Bell.
And that's from the tree line and the fire pit, or all Alesha Bell?
That's part of the investigation. It's part of the problem. Okay.
Are you looking into James Bell saying he had an escort service? Is that part of the investigation as well?
Again, we're looking at every single thing in regards to everybody that could be involved in this particular case. Certainly, if anybody has any information, we accept that. We're going to follow up everything. If it leads to something that helps in our particular case, that's fine. But we are currently working on it as we speak.
Can the coroner address any on how the DNA match was made?
Go ahead.
Well, the
Ma'am,
thing
can you come a little forward, please? Thank you.
The thing I would say is, in real life, it took this long to get DNA results. The swabs were taken from the mother the night of that everything was discovered and sent. It is not like on TV. We've been told there may be another 2 weeks that would lapse before any further evidence would be forthcoming. And I think, just like Sheriff said, we're wanting to be upfront with the community in hopes to get closure, certainly now with this identification. And notification of the mother took place last night. The coroner's office went and made official notification to her, which is our job, part of our job.
How difficult is that?
I did not go. My deputy, Tom Despenis, went, but it is quite difficult. Families often hold out hope that this is not their child as a victim, and of course, wanting to know more. So I think just, again, as Sheriff Johnson said, you have to give us time. We will be forthcoming again with more as the forensic evidence unfolds.
Is it the Ashtabula County Coroner's ruling then that this is a homicide?
At this point, yes, under the investigation, this is definitely being called a homicide.
By your office?
Yes.
And coroner, and you might have addressed this, but how long will it take before you can tell or be able to say the manner of death or how she died?
I will need all the final forensic evidence from Cuyahoga Medical Examiner's office.
So it could be quite some time.
Months.
Okay.
Is it possible to do that? Is it a possibility that you will never know what caused the death because of the fact that there isn't that much remains?
It can be listed as undetermined, yes.
Sheriff, it was determined that Brooks was the renter of this home, is that right?
Correct.
So there is an owner, right?
Correct. He was renting the premises.
How long had he been there, do we know?
May. Yeah, since May of 2015, about May 10th of 2015.
We did recover a phone, and that's being processed. So we're not going to get involved in any details of the investigation at this point.
The phone was recovered at his house.
Yes, a phone was recovered as part of the evidence, yes.
What charge will be presented to the grand jury?
That is not for public. You know, everything that's presented to the grand jury is secret. Everything that takes place before the grand jury is secret. So for me to tell you what's going to be presented to the grand jury is inappropriate.
But with this new information, of course, you're going to start looking at that, correct, as part of the investigation?
We will look at everything.
So possible additional charges.
We will look at everything. Whatever it leads us to, we will give it to the prosecutor. There'll be certainly a call at a later time.
Nick, if the grand jury brings back more charges, would these be combined with the case that's currently ongoing to the other charges, or would it be a separate?
Well, a lot of it depends on the results of any further forensic testing. So, yes, if the timing works out right, they could be combined with the current charges, but again, a lot of it depends.
Is Brooks working well with you guys? Is he talking?
Yeah, we're not going to comment on that.
I know Ashtabula is kind of a quiet community. You've had quite a bit. How difficult has this been on you and your staff, the prosecutors? I mean, this is a horrendous case.
Well, we're very busy, and but this is not the only homicide we've ever investigated. We've had several since in many years. So it's just another call, and we will take as much personnel as needed to investigate this, but we'll be doing other things as well. So yeah, it's difficult. Nobody wants to be talking about homicides in your county or in your area, but it's a fact of life today.
Can I respond to that? I just want to say, I just want to say that in the short time I've been prosecutor, yeah, we've been very busy with a lot of deaths and murders and so forth, but I can say that I have never in my career been surrounded by more dedicated people to their job than I have with this department and with all the county and law enforcement agencies in this county. They have dealt with every tragedy, every case with the utmost professionalism and dedication to their job. And it is a privilege to be in this position and to work side by side with them. So.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sheriff, do you mind how many homicides you've had this year or last year or something like that?
There's been double-digit homicides in the last 2 years that we've been, in the county.
We had 10 murders in the first year I was county prosecutor. And there have been several since then, December of 13.
And is this one for you? I mean, I know you've handled quite a bit as prosecutor just in a couple years, but is this one seem, I mean, it seems horrific to me as an outsider. I mean, what's your view on it?
It's horrific. But so wasn't the case that was just the body just discovered in the city of Ashtabula. And so wasn't the murder of Mary Martinchuk.
Sir, can you get a little bit closer? I appreciate it.
Sorry.
So,
You look good.
So wasn't the murder of Mary Martinchuk, an 82-year-old woman who was found slashed to death, or slashed, and she died. And so wasn't the two people that you and I talked about last week, or the one lady, 20-year-old, who was tragically killed by a drunk driver. I mean, case after case after case, they're all tragic, and they're all unique in their own sense. But this just is beyond all normal sensibilities when you find bones at a crime scene, and yes, so.
Coroner, how significant is it that only fragments were found?
Well, again, this is all part of the ongoing investigation. Much forensic evidence is still out there. So, I mean, it definitely is part of the investigation.
What are the charges Brooks faces again? Where is he being held?
He's being held here. Currently, Nick, his charges are...
He was charged with abuse of corpse, tampering with evidence, several counts of trafficking of cocaine and heroin, and having weapons under disability. So he's facing a total of 10 counts at this time as a result of the lower court charges. There was a preliminary hearing, a very lengthy preliminary hearing conducted before Judge Schroeder last week, and those charges were all bound over. And his bond, I believe, remains at $700,000 cash surety in an aggregate fashion.
But he's never been charged with human trafficking?
No, not at this point.
Okay.